Green Mile.
Released 1999, directed by Frank Darabont. More The Green Mile, 3 of 170, the most utterly depressing movies ever made, 3 of 553, the greatest epic movies ever made, 564 of 722, the best horror movies of all time.
The Silence of the Lambs.
Released 1991, directed by Jonathan Demme. More The Silence of the Lambs. Small details and trivia from The Silence of the Lambs that left us hungry for more. 1 of 234, the best psychological thrillers of all time. 76 of 103, the very best movie franchises.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Released 1993, directed by Chris Columbus, Chuck Jones. More Mrs. Doubtfire. Mrs. Doubtfire is actually a dark film about an extremely deranged man. 10 of 252, the funniest 90s movies. 56 of 151, the most rewatchable comedy movies.
Star Wars Episode VI Return of the Jedi.
Released 1983, directed by Richard Marquand. More Star Wars Episode VI Return of the Jedi. 17 subtle details you missed in Star Wars Episode VI Return of the Jedi. 4 of 136, the best third films in a movie series. 7 of 15 classic movie endings people only accept because they are classics.
Batman.
Released 1989, directed by Tim Burton. More Batman. 27 things you didn't know about Tim Burton's Batman movies. 21 of 177, the greatest comic book movies of all time. 29 of 166, the best superhero movies ever made.
The Karate Kid.
Released 1984, directed by John G. Avildsen. More The Karate Kid. 25 of 204, the best sports movies ever made. 14 of 65, the best adventure movies for kids. 7 of 14, 80s movie fan theories.
Aladdin.
Released 1992, directed by Ron Clements, John Musker. More Aladdin fan theories more mind-boggling than The Cave of Wonders. 89 of 575, the best animated films ever. 62 of 88, animated movies that make you cry the most.
Die Hard.
Released 1988, directed by John McTiernan. More Die Hard ripoffs, ranked by how hard they die. 2 of 26, the best F-bombs in movie history. 10 of 127, the best Christmas movies of all time.
Jaws.
Released 1975, directed by Steven Spielberg. More Jaws, behind the scenes of every death in Jaws. 5 of 33, the best Steven Spielberg movies. 1 of 136, the scariest animal horror movies ever made.
The Terminator.
Released 1984, directed by James Cameron. More The Terminator. 12 Terminator fan theories that are just crazy enough to be true. 51 of 1540, the most rewatchable movies. 3 of 178, the best dystopian and near-future movies.
Star Wars Episode V, The Empire Strikes Back.
Released 1980, directed by Irvin Kershner. More Star Wars Episode V, The Empire Strikes Back. 20 subtle details you likely missed when watching Star Wars Episode V. The Empire Strikes Back 5 of 186, the best alien movies ever made, 1 of 12, every Star Wars movie, ranked best to worst. The Extra-Terrestrial. Released 1982, directed by Steven Spielberg, orMy. The Extra-Terrestrial, behind-the-scenes stories from E! The Extra-Terrestrial, 6 of 675, the best movies Roger Ebert gave 4 stars, 265 of 480, the greatest movies for guys. The Breakfast Club. Released 1985, directed by John Hughes, The Breakfast Club. Don't you forget about these small but poignant details from The Breakfast Club. 3 of 522, the greatest movies of the 1980s, ranked 21 of 200, the best teen romance movies. The Shawshank Redemption. Released 1994, directed by Frank Darabont, The Shawshank Redemption, behind the scenes of The Shawshank Redemption, and the making of an unlikely classic. 101 of 112 movies that need sequels. 2 of 126, the greatest directorial debuts of all time. The Wizard of Oz. Released 1939, directed by Mervyn LeRoy, Norman Taurog, King Vidor, George Cukor, Victor Fleming. The Wizard of Oz. The original Wizard of Oz books are shockingly violent compared to the Judy Garland classic. 19 of 206 musical movies with the best songs. 14 of 97, the best movies to watch on mushrooms. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Released 1986, directed by John Hughes. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, behind the scenes of the famous parade scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. 13 of 925, the all-time greatest comedy films. 8 of 314, the funniest 80s movies. The Goonies. Released 1985, directed by Richard Donner. The Goonies, things you have to ignore in order to enjoy watching The Goonies. 16 of 105, the best Halloween movies for kids. 97 of 244, the best movies for kids. Beetlejuice. Released 1988, directed by Tim Burton. Beetlejuice, strange things you probably didn't know about the making of Beetlejuice. 53 of 1137, the absolute funniest movies of all time. 265 of 557, the greatest film scores of all time. Star Wars. Released 1977, directed by George Lucas. Star Wars, the most hated Star Wars villains. 248 of 836, the greatest chick flicks ever made. 190 of 277, the top tearjerker movies that make men cry. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Released 1981, directed by Steven Spielberg. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. 12 stories that proved the making of Raiders of the Lost Ark was an adventure behind the scenes. 2 of 541, the greatest guilty pleasure movies. 1 of 206, the best adventure movies. Home Alone. Released 1990, directed by Chris Columbus. Home Alone. 15 fan theories about Home Alone that we wish were true. 6 of 50, the 50 highest grossing 90s movies. Ranked 102 of 355, the best rainy day movies. Jurassic Park. Released 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg. More Jurassic Park. 20 things you didn't know about the Jurassic Park franchise. 14 of 14 movies that threw book endings out the window completely. 3 of 164 live-action movies with the best CGI effects.
Ghostbusters.
Released 1984, directed by Ivan Reitman. More Ghostbusters behind-the-scenes secrets from Ghostbusters most people have never heard. 1 of 126, the funniest movies starring SNL cast members. 17 of 94, the best trios of all time.
Back to the Future.
Released 1985, directed by Robert Zemeckis. More Back to the Future surprising facts you didn't know about Back to the Future. 4 of 172, the best science fiction action movies. 4 of 14 movies where a solution becomes an even bigger problem.
Forrest Gump.
Released 1994, directed by Robert Zemeckis. More Forrest Gump. 16 extremely messed up things about Forrest Gump that'll change how you see it. 27 of 1189, every Oscar-winning film ever. 1 of 369, the best movies based on books.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.